Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday's Trade the Pool live stream here. I've got Rocco with me today, special guest. He's back. How you doing, Rocco?
Good morning, Scott. Good morning, TTP family. It's always great to be back. Whenever I listen to Scott, I make some profits, so I hope it's going to be the same today.
Sounds good to me. Let's do it after the intro. All right, then. So everybody in the chat, put your tickers in, what you're looking at. Let us know what you're looking at. Let us know if you want us to look at anything for you. Nolly, good morning. You've got mRNA, Meta, Marvel, STX, GME, and Direct. That GME took a hit overnight, didn't it? After the earnings data there. So we'll take a look at those. And TNSHQ07, hello, how you doing? Along with William, nice to see you guys. Got Tim with us today and got Rocco. You both doing all right, gents?
Super good. Yep.
And Tim, you're good?
Yeah. Excited to be here, man.
Excellent. So I'm just going to take a look at a couple of things that are popping off at the moment. So IBO just tucked into its benchmark 2. I was looking at this earlier. It was at benchmark 1. Was thinking about getting this up short. It was just not paying anything. Wasn't doing what I expected to do. Still got a little bit of a head and shoulders in there as well, but it popped the sell side liquidity straight off and went guns for about 285, which was benchmark 2. Which at the moment we are seeing like a little trend line break there, and what I'd be looking for, if it was nice to us, if there was going to be a short up here, would be a pullback to this kind of 277 area. If they want to go that sell side liquidity up there to push down further, first target down here would be 245 if we can get it. So the other thing to note on IBIO, it was strong volume in the morning. So if we look at ignoring that liquidity switch on there, you know, we were having 200-300 trades go through per minute, so that isn't generally something you necessarily want to short when that is happening pre-market. PAYS, on the contrary, again ignoring that liquidity switch on, we were trading around 10 to 17,000 on average per minute. So when that hits into your benchmark resistance at the top there, and that's the liquidity switch on, just acknowledging the sell side. And then when the buy side breaks, that's it. It comes off. And that's the difference between kind of the high volume and the low volume that you get pre-market. So for the minute, IBO, just waiting to see what can happen there. Boogie Woogie, how you doing? Good to see you. Rocco, what are you looking at this morning? You getting anything on your watch this morning?
Yeah, I actually have several. So
Good.
one of them is Merck, MRK. So it's interesting. They just announced yesterday FDA approval for that new drug for pulmonary arterial hypertension. And basically they invested like 11.5 billion into developing it. And it came out to be good, right? And kind of they're expecting 7.5 billion per year return on it because it worked out. So okay. That's the first one. The second one is CCL, but they are going to announce earnings at 9:15. So we're going to have to wait how that reacts, I guess, in 10 minutes. It's a little bit unusual, right? And the last one will be Robin Hood, right? And what is there surprising is that they are offering now a credit card. Yeah.
Spend your profits straight away.
A gold-plated credit card or something.
Yeah. Only for gold members of Robinhood. But you get 3% back, cash back. So, but that kind of got them up, right? Several percent. So that's pretty good. So those are the three that I'm watching today.
Okay, gotcha. If you can share your screen, you can talk us through that in a little bit. See what levels you've got, what you think might, what levels you're going to look at to play.
Okay, we'll do.
Just add your screen to the stage, and we can do that as well. And Tim, what do you got? You got anything yet, or are you just working through?
Yeah, I need to. The big newsletter that I like to look at comes out right at 9, so I need to take a look at that. But yeah, I was looking at. I've actually been up for quite a while here. I was looking at indices, and some interesting action. I was getting kind of a bearish feeling overall. We'll see. I was looking at crypto too, and that's pushing now. As far as other names, I was in that. I don't know if you guys saw in the comments. I was in the chat on Monday. I was real psyched about McCormick, and I missed getting in that trade on Tuesday, so I was kind of bummed about that. But it'll be interesting to see if we have follow through on that on MKC, or if that gives up some of that earnings pop. And I am looking also at Target, because it looks like it is getting ready to actually push up there again. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, and then Robinhood. I am curious about that pop. I did actually try shorting it here at the pre-market high, and we'll see what happens there. But right now, just kind of waiting for the open and looking things over.
Okay, guys. That's cool. Are you all good with getting your screens up?
Oh, and just as a reminder too, this is a short week. We do have a market holiday Friday for Good Friday, so we are having some. I'll make an announcement at the end too, but we are when I have to run out about an hour in, but we have some events going on in our Discord on Friday. We'll be doing another unconference, so mark your calendars for that. If you're just going to be real sad missing the market, don't worry. We have some discussion and some events there. So,
all right, no worries. Thank you, Tim. So, just looking at what's on the scanners right now. So we've still got IBIO up there. Hoth has just jumped into what's Hoth doing? Pre-market.
I saw they had some news, right? Saw Hoth go by on actually my things. I'm trying to remember what they're
positive preclinical research data. Doesn't say what phase.
Oh yeah, they have the Alzheimer's thing. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. So it looks like it popped and dropped, whatever it was. So it does look a little bit woolly. The news, it's not giving any kind of data out there.
The effect on plaque deposition and AB levels were inconclusive. Planning on a developmental path based only on its ability to restore cognitive functions and quality of life. So, detailed results from the preclinical later in 2024.
All right. Alternatively, you could go for a Neuralink, I guess. Don't think that'll be too far away. Put it in the first human.
Yeah, that guy stayed up the guy who got the first implant used it to stay up all night playing Counter-Strike, right?
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so we'll see what I mean. I think Hoff's one and done. Unless I hear it actually come up on the scanner again, it's just gone straight up. That's a beautiful short there, straight up, closed at the benchmark and then down to its buy side pull there and just resting in. So unless it works its way out of it, wants to go for another run. Not a lot of interest in Hoff at the moment. SOUN is on there again. That's an AI play. Soundhound. That should be very backside, I think. Yeah, still seeing that backside. How high has that got to? $588. Yeah, no, I don't see anything front side about that. Let's clear this chart up a sec. Some of this stuff off. Oops. So just looking from the last push up, low to high. Yeah, so sitting in its right at the very bottom of its sell side liquidity for me there. So it would need to hold that, work its way out. I'd need to hear it on the tape to have some volume coming on that. At the moment, just being where it is isn't enough. I see that as very backside still at the moment. So we'll see anything else. So yeah, not really a lot out there. What's anyone else got? LIXT, Danny? LIXT. Let's remove this. Yeah, so that's running at the moment. Let's have a look. So pre-market coming out there. Whoops. Yeah, so already in number one.
Yeah, so there's also another pharma company that is kind of making a move today. When you get a chance, we can check it out.
Sure. Let's have a quick look at that low. Where's that low? 2. It's a bit messy down there. I need to grab up. Let's get this straight down. Yes, let's see if that can get up to 5 and 7 up the top there. There's a gap there between 5 and 7. At the moment, just holding one of the take profit levels at 384. And if I'm looking at what's going on in pre-market on this guy, we have... So just missing that first buy side liquidity now. That's going to push us up a little bit. Let me just grab this up here. So if we're going to continue to work our way up to that 460 to 520 area, we'd have to drop into this 340, I think, in order to not be chasing this one. So if we can get a drop in to this 340 to 320, see if we can't curl out of that and get some momentum as we do so for a long to $5. And then if we're lucky, it might just run to 7. We see. We got a catalyst on this one. Can't see anything at the moment. Let's just jump over to here. No, can't see anything on it right now. Let's check. 27th new scientific publication shows Lixty's lead clinical compound. One sec. Can force cancer cells to give up their cancer-causing properties. Well, that would be good.
Yeah, it seems that lately this health sector is kind of good, has good volatility. Yesterday, VKTX was a good trade, or trade of the day.
So I think we were looking at that yesterday. Let's just put this on watch. Yeah, VKTX. Where was we on VKTX?
We had such a beautiful move up and then kind of just reversed. So.
Did that happen later on in the day?
In the morning, kind of went up and then kind of just flipped.
I'm going to need you guys to post your get your screens up if possible. Rocco, are you all right to do that?
Okay.
To
Yeah,
the present button down the bottom, just so we can talk through what we're looking at. Yeah, I think that bit of action that we're seeing there kind of put us all off yesterday between 86 and 88. It was, yeah, for the short on, it did come all the way back. Let me just check. Yeah. So you got the short yesterday, did you?
Actually, in the morning, I kind of went in with a trailing stop, so I got the move up.
Nice.
And then I was in the meetings and I missed the reversal, but the trailing stops, kept me out on time.
Okay, all right, stuff. Okay. So, is there anything on that you're looking at today, or is that done for you today? It's kind of what have I got?
Oh, it's done for me today. I'm kind of watching now this Merck in that health sector because it seems to be kind of doing pretty good. And another actual company, if you want to check, is NVCR.
NVCR. Where have I seen that? And was that last week that popped to us? NVCR.
Yes. So they also had like some cancer drug in phase 3 that performed good or better for this brain metastasis from lung cancer. So they are up 14.8% today after pullback. So they're pretty high.
So are you into the medical stocks as well? That's cool.
That's actually this week seems to be a theme. AI was for a while, right? They were kind of being volatile now, kind of since the health sector is picking up.
Gotcha. So you're sort of just following the excitement or what have you. There's a couple conferences, a couple good conferences going on this week. So I actually want to check up on some of those.
So I'm just shy of that pre-market. It got down there 1470-ish. Anywhere between 1465 and 1370. So a very wide range up there being... Where does that come from on the daily? 2 hour. What kind of level is that? We got there $14. All right, so $20, 1950. Same up here. So yeah, all we need is it to either not need to tap in. So what are you thinking on NVCR then, Rocco? What's going to get you into this? Are you still able to present your screen, Rocco?
Yeah, I was trying to do that, but it seems it's not kind of really functional, so I'm not sure. So is this gonna work? No. Screen 2. Okay, so this is gonna work, I guess. All right. Okay. Do you see now?
There we go. Yeah, gotcha.
Okay, all right. Okay, so basically here, we have at least I can walk you through this one, but we can go also to Merck, right? Basically here, at least we have levels with Merck and Hood. Merck is on, I think, at least on all-time high last 2 years, and Hood is picking up right after being IPO high. Here, at least we can define some levels. So we are now at the price around 1532, 1540, right? So here, if you look at here, so we have here one rejection, right, and then another rejection of the price here, couple of other touches in that area. So that would be maybe the first level to go in, right? Sorry, I usually use. So that would be like maybe an area of around 16. Sort of gotcha. Would be the top area. So now I will wait the open, right? This is actually maybe a typical trade where it gaps up, has a pullback, right, and then starts rushing again after the open. So that would be my hypothesis, that I would be kind of following. That said, of course, I allow myself flexibility in that thinking, right? Because I want to see first 4 or 5 minutes that price discovery, how it will behave, who is going to take charge, sellers or buyers, if I'm going to go short or long. So if I would go kind of long, right, I would be targeting, my profit target would be around 16, and then depending on the battle around 16 between sellers and buyers, right, who wins, I will then either flip position to short if the sellers win, or I'm gonna kind of at least take 50% of profit and stay in the trade. As you can see, it has a potential to go up to 1750 or even 1780. That was rejected the last time around, and let's see where it was rejected in the pre-market. So it even went even higher, above 18. So pre-market high, pre-market low are also important levels that I would be targeting either for profit or for entering. All right.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay, so let's see CCL. They reported what happened to CCL. Okay. All right. So I guess they had a indecision. Look at that. From 18 to 17. So a whole dollar at 18 is a huge one. So we'll see how that unwraps. So they were up, I guess, 3-4%, and they're now kind of dropping slowly. I guess the news were not so exciting in the cruise ship company. By the way, did you hear the story in the USA? What happened with the ship?
The bridge?
Yeah,
I did. I was watching it early this morning. The replay of it just collapsed like a stack of cards, didn't it? One nudge and it went.
Yeah. So that's that. So, and these are my plays at open, right? And today I will actually try to test a new strategy live.
Yeah. What is it? Tell us. What do you got?
I'm going to be watching crossing of 8 simple moving average with VWAP. Okay. So I kind of was testing that for a week or two, and it seems it's working pretty well after 10-15 and so on, when these big kind of strong moves happen. And I'll let you know when there is one, and we can follow bar by bar.
Rocco, what time frame?
At 1 minute. 1 minute.
The 1 minute. It's funny you should say that. I don't know. We must be either watching or reading the same things, but so just the VWAP or the VWAP bands as well?
No. When the moving average, simple moving average, 8 SMA, it crosses the VWAP, right? And the price is close enough. I will try to enter short or long, depending the direction of the stock. So we'll see if it works. It's a new strategy that I'm testing. You have to repeat it at least 20 times to be sure that it works, or at least to go live.
So as an example here, looking at this is the 1 minute chart, and this is the 8. One of these is the 8 moving average. At the point we cross 17, we close underneath that, then you're short. Yeah, that's what we're going. That's what we're thinking on that.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as SMA crosses the VWAP, and there is a price close to it, you cannot overextend it from that cross, the price, right? Otherwise, it doesn't work. So we'll see.
All good. So, and what are you going to try that on one of these stocks, or?
The one that hits my scanner, right? I have set it up, and in Trade Ideas, and then when they pop up, I'm gonna check the chart if the price action is in my favor, if level 2 is in my favor, if time and sales are supporting the decision. It's like check, and then I will enter. So we can watch live what happens. Brilliant.
I'd love to tune into that, see what you've got, follow that step by step as you do it. That would be interesting. We're also going to take a look at risk management today, Rocco. We'll get the pre-market out of the way. We'll do some live trades, and then if it settles down a little bit, we're going to have a look at the risk management and risk to reward, where we'd get in, where we'd cut. So we'll have a look at that a little bit later. Right, so CCL we've got on. So I've just put your two on my watch list there, as well as NVCR. What else? Excess was there, but no interest really. STOK from yesterday was a whole bunch of kind of pre-market, push. It was holding buy-side liquidity pools through pre-market all the way. Then come down for its lower buy-side before on the open went into its sell side, and then is kind of off from its starting point. So let's just go from the post-market low to the pre-market high, which was the high of the day. So that 940 is something that I'd ultimately be looking for this stock to rest off of that pump on that buy side. Now, didn't quite get there in post-market, and we're working off it today. So the other thing I'm going to be looking for then is the high off the open to the low of the session, live session. And if we could get up to 12, I'd look for shorts on STOK. Now, whether or not we get that, I don't know, because currently we are in the lower one, right? So the last swing that we put into the lows, that's what we're using at the moment. So if you can get above 1137, 1140 and close, I see a gap then to 12, which for me would be a decent place to look for a short, assuming this is backside. Do you trade any form of small cap pops, Rocco?
No, more mid to high cap, yeah.
Mid to high, okay, cool. So, yeah, that's what I'll be looking for on a short on STOK. Trying to see what else is up there of interest. ALT.
All right. Hopefully things run a little bit faster now. Let's see.
Okay, Tim. Let's have a look at what we got in the chat there. So, to the William is asking how I would manage winners where you want to hold and let them run more. So I let the pullbacks decide where or when I can get in. Let's think of one. Let's have a look at what we were doing. Oh, we can just have a look at pre-market this morning, actually. All right, if I tidy this up a tad, let's take this big yellow box off so we can see the darkness behind it. So all the while for me, there's two ways I look at it. If I'm doing a momentum play, all the while these moving averages are holding, I would hold. But ultimately, my long position is good so long as we defend each buy-side liquidity pool. If we start to move so far away from it, like this one at 247, we didn't come down to it. I think we've got 45 seconds to the open. We didn't come down to this. So then I just move to these dual moving averages that I've got moving up here. And then a close below that would take me out of that trade. So it's definitely with small caps. I want to be in the momentum. If the momentum slows up, I'm not really looking to do anything else. So that might just be, 20, 30, 40 cents. If that's the case, then I'll take that off the table at that point. Okay, so 15 seconds to go. Let's turn on the scanners.
It's time!
All right, here we go. So let's take a look. For me, that's IBIO for the minute. So we're still holding at the minute that sell side liquidity pool off the push into benchmark at 287. So I'm looking to see if we cannot get some action above this first of all because normally we're going to have those buyers that want to play the pre-market high. Oh, there's a dump off of there. Okay. So normally we've got the buyers that would like to break the pre-market. They'll come in, and then the short sellers think that's a bit of a silly opportunity to go for a pre. So they tend to let it get, 10, 20 cents above it, and then they start to hit the short button. But at the moment, I'm just being defined by what I think is a level of resistance here, which is this benchmark driven by the lows, by data in the lows. And if it's acknowledged, I like it. That's it. If it's acknowledged, I like it. Then if it's going to go short, it just means the sell side liquidity has to hold price like right now. If it breaks that sell side liquidity, there's a high probability it will just go and run to the next resistance level. And I'd look to zoom back out and perhaps get onto the daily and find out where that might be. So there's the sell side break. There's the pop. There's everybody getting in long on those traders that like to break and trade that break of pre-market. And then how far above that are we there? So 89, just like about 10 cents above. So we might see a little bit of like shorts getting involved in this pop or not. Either way, for me, this is very aggressive. It had a huge volume coming in pre-market. So I just rather that play out right now. But we'll keep an eye on IBIO. Rocco, anything going on the open on your what you've got on watch?
I'm following Merck. Is going down. CCL is also showing a very weak open, so now it's kind of a little bit retracing. So I'm gonna wait that it takes out the low of the day for CCL. So that might be the play.
Okay.
CCL, not Merck. CCL.
So what's the level you're looking for it to take out? Sorry.
1630, around 1630, and it has to be kind of dropped. But now it's kind of climbing up to the VWAP.
Okay.
So the buyers are stepping in.
Okay, that looks nice.
So, and Merck was rejected from the high of the day. Let's see if it will take it out.
Do you want to? Have you taken your chart off stage? I can't see your chart again.
Okay, let me share. Okay.
Well, massive drop on Tesla off the open there. So straight into its benchmark 178.80 to 60. So let's see if that holds.
How do you decide on your position size, Scott?
Just keep it in line with the restrictions, really, for trade the pool. Per trade, per. I generally take the risk limit and then half it to give me a bit of leeway to kind of add if I need to, or if it comes against me, to play that. But generally, keep it in line with those risk parameters set by the program. How about you?
So I'm following actually this average true range.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so basically I take the 6 ATR, and depending on how much I want to risk per trade, I define the number of shares based on that. So for example, if let's say ATR is, I don't know, 10 cents, 6 ATR is 10 cents, I want to risk $120, I go in with 1,200 shares. Kind of, that's the math, right?
Gotcha, yeah. Yeah, so I'd risk that off. So if I'm looking at Tesla here, the deeper I get into this, I'd only be risking the bottom of this zone if I wanted to long Tesla from this, what is a benchmark actually. So I'm just looking to see if we get it. I'll have to take a quick look at the NASDAQ. So that is the benchmark. So again, it would have a lower benchmark down there for Tesla. But Tesla generally likes to respect this This first one. Let's get that aligned. Yeah, so we'd have another one down there. And Tesla, these Mag 7s can act like, generally my rule is that small caps are like benchmarks 2 and the mid to big like benchmark 1. Crypto also loves benchmark 2. But yeah, I just wait to see what we've got here, because some days these can act like small caps with the volatility that they have. So just take a quick look at the Nasdaq. Oops. Okay, so we can see why Tesla's coming off as well here. IBO took a massive flush off of that area. I'm just going to jump back to IBIO. So this was that level that's worked twice yesterday. We come right down into it yesterday. This morning we worked it as well. So if we took this low on NASI up to that high, just poked into it there. And on this one, it looks like we're going to attempt to push into the deep low of this one as well at the moment. So buy side over there. This one was taken out completely all the way down yesterday. So that effectively moves over, and then I continue to check out where these reside. From this high to that first swing is a beautiful pinpoint generally. And then you can take it up to the most recent highs as well. But the first swing's the key for a lot of this. So yeah, just seeing if this can hold this area right now on the Nasdaq. Let's see if Tesla's kind of holding up where the Nasdaq is. Okay, so they're both doing a very similar thing, apart from Tesla's in its benchmark, not in its liquidity pool. Let's have a quick look at IBIO. So IBIO, yeah, took another look there on the open into that benchmark on volume, and then crashed back off and has now got to its first target down there at 240s. So we'll see now what happens if IBO is at VWAP and could start to work out. If not, it's going to head back down. There'd be a gap now for me from 240 down to $2 if that buy side liquidity pool can fail. Tim, what you got on? Anything here?
I'm still working on I had to restart a few things. My system's slow. I'm slow myself too, man. I've been sick for like week, 2 weeks. Just keeps coming back. So
that's not good.
I'm probably not going to be taking much today, but I'm going to try to see if I can get this newsletter so I can see if there's anything interesting going on. TSVT. I'm not sure what's there. That's kind of interesting because there was let me see here if I can switch screen. You know what? I got the wrong window shared. But yeah, if you want to pull it up, it's TSVT Tango Sierra Victor Tango. That's 27 bio, and 270. I'm trying to see why they had a little pop this morning and now kind of selling. So that's kind of interesting. But I just had that I just saw that in my options portfolio. Beyond that, I'm still looking to see what's cooking.
Okay. Let's see where that come in. Yeah.
Yeah, not much of directional movement this morning, right? So it's kind of just chopping around a little bit.
It is indeed. See, sort of pay. So IBIO smack off that benchmark 2 now, trying to toy with breaking this 238 area right at the low. So we'll see now if this has got any more legs on it. for today, or whether that is it. So generally you can find, where's the let me just need to switch my pre-market scanners over to my, let's close that down a second. Open up again. Yeah, so generally what we can find in these initial, like this initial kind of short, is that if the first buy side liquidity holds and we start to push out of it, so again, we've got a VWAP play here, and like a huge amount of people play off the VWAP, and there would be, you know, this little consolidation down here that's held up. Then we've got a red to green move where the green is closed higher than that red bar here. So that area there, I think, would bring in longs. And then it remains to be seen if this buy side pull will actually be held or broke to the downside. And that, you know, we determine, right, the way I'm thinking about it is, right, those VWAP players that have just had their order confirmed long will have their stop sitting down here at about 233. So if price does come back and slip through 233, that's probably going to give us a little bit more downside, perhaps to 210, or even if it comes back into the 203 level. But at the minute, like I say, if I was holding this short, I'd just be looking at these stair steppers and either taking some off at the first target here, which is this buy side, which has been, for the best part of this week and last, the best thing to do in that initial first instance. There's a lot of time we just get this meandering across and then another attempt at the high, and then it's not until after lunch that we actually come down and look for that resting buy side pull there. William, you got AMD back to 172. Looks like a range play to 165, 160. Let's have a look at AMD. Yeah, I see what you mean. So for me, that AMD off this last run here, up from 161 to 227. That's what I'd call its resting liquidity pool. Just resting means it'll probably accumulate down there. Take all three depths of liquidity out, which is this low here around 174, and then it's whether or not it will try and work its way out here and start to push up. But at the moment, yeah, very rangy on AMD here. Looking at the smaller time frame though, so I'll be looking for that last. Oh, that's very sketchy in pre-market even. So I'll be looking for that pre-market area, mark that up, and looking for AMD, looking for the institutions to look for where they'd want to see their best execution prices. And for me, that would be up here around that 180.20, and then also right where we are now at 177.74. So that's why I like to get that business out of the way. So if I did want to get involved in AMD this morning, for instance, I would expect the open to either push one way or the other, or both, and that's what it's done today. So it's gone to grab that better price for its sellers. So any client orders that are sitting on the desk in the morning that are sell orders, they're looking, if we're opening up and this pre-market range has been 179, we're looking to get edge on that, and that's up there at 180. Similarly down here, our buyers can be executed at a better price below. That for me is kind of where that business is conducted. So from there on, I'd look to see if there's a buy side, sell side liquidity pool, as we've just moved that down. Yep. So sell side, sorry. So if we need to come off of this best execution level where I would expect some buyer volume to come in, it's whether or not it's enough to push it back and need 179.54. If it doesn't need to come back as far as 179.54, then I would expect it to go for a benchmark for the day. And this does depend on what the overall market is doing. But for the moment, I'd see that working its way down through 177.50, 175, 176.09, and ultimately 174. So I would just mark those levels up as well for profit targets if I wanted to get short. And then this is where you see me mark this up all the time. That would be my benchmark on there. So if that's generally the purse of the day, of the session, where I would expect price to be benchmarked, to stop and accumulate if we can make it all the way down here. Now, that doesn't mean it has to happen like anything else, but it's just an indication at the moment that what has happened is that business has been conducted for me, right? So all those orders that are on the desk in the morning, they've been executed at the better execution price for the buyers and sellers. Now it remains up to the rest of the market to see whether or not there's an imbalance in that book and in those orders. So if we have a huge amount of sell trades to do, we may have only executed some at 180 and the rest of them would be happy at 179, and that's where we get back to the sell side pool. So we'll see if that works out or not. But generally, whilst price is locked in between 180.20 and 177.75, it may not be a trend day, right? You could just pull back to here and meander on. A trend day would be a quick pullback, grab some liquidity, and then start firing down through these levels to get down to the benchmark by lunchtime. There you go. Overanalyzed the hell out of that one, but there you go. What else is going on? So I've developed this since this is called Liquivision. Used to be called Sniper, now it's called Liquivision. Just something I've developed since I've left the bank last June, actually. So I've just been developing that to just try and give us some edge and help us out. So I'm not strictly used to executing retail or being locked into these sort of limits. So the execution side is as challenging for me as it is for everyone else, but it's what will happen where is what I've got a good idea of until we hand over to everything else, right? Everything else in the market. So like I said, once that business is conducted and the investment banks are out of the equation, then you're over to your hedge funds, your prop firms, your investment managers, all that sort of thing. So it's not all of my understanding, right, of the whole market. It's just I know that investment banking business is conducted every session for every, follow the sun, basically. So Asia, London, the US happens pretty much the same in each. But for US stocks, the pre-market sets it all up. And similarly, like in Forex and futures, the Asia session would set up London would set up New York, that sort of thing, in a Globex market anyway. So that's it. So now AMD coming back. So we'll see what it does here at the sell side liquidity and whether or not we have a sell set up on our hands. And the same remains for AMD as in small cap. If we break 1820 and we go and break through it, then I'd simply be looking for the benchmark to the upside off the lows. So I literally be looking down here and saying, right, where am I expecting the purse to go? If the imbalance is the other side, we've got a huge amount more buyers, then that benchmark now would sit up here. And those profit targets would be sitting here and one in the sell side liquidity pool there. So now we've pushed back into that. So we'll see what happens here. But as you can see, if I zoom out, all that action is being conducted in what is a resting liquidity pool for AMD. So all I look for on a longer term basis is, are we holding sell side or are we holding buy side? So if we just take that last run down, clearly sellers in control. Now I start to look at, are we breaking sell side liquidity? In this case we are. So I'll take that high again. Are we breaking it again? So currently on the higher time frame, we're holding sell side liquidity right now. So that becomes my key level. If we break 184.80 and close above, then we can start a move back to the upside. And similarly, and this is how your pennants are formed and all your channels are formed and all that. So from that last swing low to high, we have not come down and grabbed 174 again. So this is now whether we need to or we don't need to. It's whether it continues higher from where it is or it comes down to grab this. So we're just forming these sell side liquidities and buy side liquidities within a massive pool of buy side liquidity right now. There we go. That's what I've got on AMD. So we can keep an eye on that. Okay, right. So now we've smashed through that. We've smashed through that sell side liquidity. So we're not going to the downside benchmark. So the chances are we're coming up here now to 182.23. But that's it. So you never know which side the imbalance is going to be. But there's the first profit take level hit. So we can see some pull down to the next level, 179.80, before we go again to 182.27. Rocco, what you got? I've been talking enough. What you got? What you got over there?
So I'm watching the CCL. It made a clear range, and let me just kind of just do this, and then I'm going to share the screen. And that's what is really interesting. You will see now on level 2 there is a huge order. So share screen. Okay. Okay, do you see it? Not yet?
No, I haven't got you yet.
Okay, just, yeah, I don't know why it's having issues today. Screen 2, allow. Yeah, I don't know why it's not picking up. I'm trying to. It worked a couple of minutes ago. So,
What, are you using the share whole screen, or you could share the actual application?
yeah, I did like a share screen, screen 2, and it shows it clearly. I don't know. So, okay. It says you are sharing your entire screen. Do you see it?
Yeah, you've just hit up on. I can add you to stage there. There you go. Yeah, we got you.
Okay. You see this huge order? Oh, it's allowed. It's gonna come up. It's here in the corner. 1251 times 100. That's 12,500. 125,300 shares. A seller is sitting there patiently waiting, I guess, that the price comes to them. See this?
What price is that? Sorry, Rocco. What price did you say?
1693. There is a huge kind of ask there, and it's slowly attracting the price up, as you can see, towards that. The market makers are going to move now, I think, price towards that, and it's going to flush through, or it's going to be blocked. Now we have to wait. Is it like a, you know, like a spoofing or no intention to fill order, or it's like a big order now it kind of disappeared? So that's going to be interesting, right? We'll see what happens, but it's being clearly, the price is clearly being attracted to that 1693 that we saw, and that's being rejected after it was removed, I guess, from it. So, and now we can see also the break of the range that it was made before. You see the level that I made at the high of the range, at the low of the range. It's kind of the price is climbing up. So I kind of tested the waters. I'm in the trade now. So let's see how long it will go. And I'm getting the confirmation from the volume. You see the volume bar below. So there's a kind of a second check into the valid breakup. This, I didn't like that because it was rejected fast by the sellers. I'm looking at now at the price. Will it hold 87, 87, 85, 85, 86? So it's holding by the bids, by the buyers, right? It's not dropping. They're not letting it drop. Hopefully. Now it kind of dropped a little bit. It's kind of maybe just retesting the breakout. So let's see if it's going to hold the breakout level. It is now. It's kind of climbing up. The bids are coming up. So let's see if it holds. My exit is below the VWAP, so that's where I'm going to exit if it goes there. So let's see. We need some volume from the bidders. Bidders are picking up again. You see above the breakout level. It's really a battle.
And you know, this is your break above. This is where the EMA is just closed above the VWAP as well, isn't it? What you talking about?
No, that's not yet. Those plays are after 10:15 because this.
Oh, is just, right, okay. But the setup is there, just wrong time, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But you're seeing that 9 EMA is actually approaching the VWAP, which is also a positive sign. However, what I didn't like is that the sellers actually won the previous battle, but now kind of the buyers are trying to step in. However, the volume was lower than on the breakout, so that's kind of a good sign. So let's see if it's going to go higher. If it's going to break the 1690 level, that seems to be a pretty strong rejection. There seems to be a seller that also kind of came all the way down on the next bar. Is it going to go? 1688, they're picking up. You can see the green orders are being filled at the ask, 88. So now we want to see that 88 kind of lifts. We see how many of them are going to be all good. 89, we see another big ask here, usually a good bullish sign. 90, come on, break it. 57, you see how they're kind of stacking the sellers. 54.
Yep. Yeah, holding 90s, holding 90s.
Now the buyers are coming. Yes.
There we go.
Let's go. Now we have a bigger offer. You see at 98. So we are going. This is our next kind of level of fight. So let's go. Oh, don't get rejected so fast. Now we have 2 of the bigger ones. All right. Okay. Now it's coming back to 90. Basically, if the next candle takes out the low or comes below 1690, I think that sellers kind of overpowered the buyers and I'm gonna go out. But this was a good sign. You see this, how fast it just dropped and came back, the price. That was beautiful. So that's good sign for the buyers. So let's go. All right. Okay, so it's gonna go. Hopefully it's gonna kick this big offer at 1698 through. All right.
Come on, then, let's get you up to 17.
Let's go. See, sorry.
So what's going to get you out of this trade then? Just the tape drying up, or is this just a
so basically when I see change in the character, right? You see now the buyers are in charge, right?
Yep.
There was a rejection from 17. Basically, let's say the next candle that takes the low of the previous candle, that's going to be my out. Okay, so that's kind of shift in the character, especially if the volume is drying up. Even though this was a good for me, right, that the buyers were in charge, the volume was a little bit lower than this seller here. You see the red one, the seller, the volume was higher than these 2 buyers. So we're gonna see. Let's go. But we are still pretty good in charge. But however, because this candle is so big, I would like to see bigger volume here. So that's kind of one anomaly, or so to speak, a difference that I didn't want to see, right? And we can see the sellers are kind of trying to push it back now. So below the 17. So 17 is now the battle between the 2. And let's see who is gonna win. Okay, so buyers are pushing it above and they're stacking. You see this kind of, they're pretty good. So pushing up. Let's see, there is a seller at 1704 that's trying to hold it. Okay, we are through. So now I'm just gonna wait till the first red candle, and then below the low, we see now some kind of big bid on 17 that's gonna also attract now a little bit of a pullback, I think, of the price back. And let's see. So this is going to be probably a dodgy candle where we don't know who's going to win. So here's the battle again around 17, and now it's going to be decided if I'm going to go out or not. So if this takes the low of the previous candle, I am out. Okay, I'm out.
Nice play. So you're going from 1780 up to 16. 80 to 17.
17, yeah, 20 cents.
17. Yeah, nice play.
Yeah,
Nice
and
reading
you
the
see how
tape.
it's going down now. So, and that's it. That was my play of the
Nice.
morning.
Good. So just flicking that over then, if I was, let's see what I had here, because I was thinking 17. Let's have a look what I got here. Oh, I need to make you smaller. Grab you back. So not coming in to grab the buy side liquidity pool yet, but it is down here. So I'm thinking maybe that's what it's coming back for. But that 1710 area was a distinct level I had, along with the sell side liquidity pool, and all that is running from is the last pulls here, right? So it's kind of every swing I'm taking here to see whether or not it needs to grab that liquidity. So from that high to that low, didn't need to come and get it. So I take it down to the next one to say, right, does it need to come grab this one? The answer is yes. From these lows, like I said, the market was working out these lows as well. We come into that sell side. Now I'd expect to go back to buy side. Would you look for another trade in that same name if we kind of come in here and work out of the lows again, or would that, or only if you see more momentum, or what would you be looking for?
So now I'm looking how it behaves close to the VWAP, right? So kind of high, there's a high probability that will just kind of bounce back from the VWAP. So if it takes the high of this candle now on a bigger volume, which is doing, you see the higher volume, it's going to take up. If it takes above the 9 EMA, see that would be another entry, a good entry for me. Okay, so that means the buyers were actually just having a small pullback. So I'm back in, okay? So, and I see another bigger offer of 1698, and I'm just waiting now if it is going to hold above this. You see how it hammer, right? That's a hammer actually, candle above the 9, or above the VWAP that was, whose high was taken out by the next candle. And if it doesn't work, I'm going to go out because it seems to be reverting. So we're going to see who is going to kind of, because that was a pretty strong rejection by the seller from the top down on high volumes. So I don't think this is going to work out this time around. Okay, I'm out. So okay. So basically, you know, the sellers overpowered the buyers that try to kind of take up again the price. So now the next play, I'm going to wait if it goes below the VWAP and it takes the low of the candle below the VWAP. That means the sellers completely took over the dominance over this stock, and kind of then I'm hoping and thinking that if I get in below here, that will go below the low of the day. So okay, so now I'm waiting that it kind of takes this one, this candle closes and the low of this candle is taken out, and then I'm going to enter in again to go all the way below the low of the day, because the sells, and you can see another, look at this, but another kind of bid that is high, 1660, attracting the price. All right.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like this one from here because that's just dipped into my buy side. Let's see what it's got.
Okay, let's see if it takes the low. We're holding. All right. So let's see the short. I'm going for the low of the day is the target now, which was around 1630.
So you're going for the short now, did you say?
Yeah.
To the lows? Okay.
Yeah. So there are several things in my favor, right? There was like this big crash to the 9 EMA, 20 AMA, and the VWAP. This one actually took the low of it, so kind of sellers are in charge here. So this is just maybe a pullback to the VWAP. I'm out again above the VWAP. So we'll see how this one kind of develops.
I'm feeling that that bearish hunch I was coming in with, I'm starting to feel validated on that. So we'll see how that goes, but certainly seems like the Russell had some I saw a tweet yesterday or last night. It was saying that basically the only thing left in the Russell that's green, something like that, was Nvidia and SMCI. So, excuse me, SMCI and what was it? It was a healthcare one. My brain is mush. Sorry. On that note, I should probably I have a few things I am trying to get caught up on for our Discord community and our trader community. So, thanks to everyone who's been patient. I've been whatever was going around, do not catch it. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. I should have mentioned this before. One of the things going into that the sort of macro thing, right, is that collision with the bridge, right, in Baltimore. So that actually affects a lot of shipping. A lot of it, I saw a note saying a lot of it's getting sent actually to North Carolina, where I am. The port's here, and then there's also there's one other port that stuff can get diverted to, but that actually handles a huge volume of shipping, and that area being blocked affects all of the unloading, loading and unloading ports in Baltimore. So I'm wondering if if you remember that with the Ever Given and the Suez Canal, I'm wondering if we start to see. I'm wondering if that's where we're starting to see some of the effects from, other than perhaps being overextended generally. So it's kind of one of the things that's got me on my toes, I guess. But yeah, anyway, I would strongly suggest everybody who is bored on Friday, if you are missing your market, come on into the Discord, check out our events. We'll have schedule posted up, should be today for that, and we'll just have some stuff just kind of a few different times throughout the day to meet everyone's schedule, but we'll talk a little bit about mindset, about psychology, kind of compare notes on some trading strategies and things like that. So it should be a lot of fun.
Gotcha. Okay, Tim.
And happy to be here. I wish I could stay longer, but I'm gonna try to get to all the things that I've been letting fall behind.
Hope you feel better. Yeah, feel better.
Same.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers, Tim.
It's a blast, and good luck with the rest of the show. Yeah, cheers.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so we had some follow through, as we can see on downside now. I'm a short, right, because of that kind of losing the VWAP and taking the low down. So and there's still some kind of bigger offers at lower prices, even though there's some kind of challenge from the sellers, right? So we'll see how that goes. But the target is the low of the day, so we'll see. All right, nice move. Again, another 20 cents. So
that's just broken out of my buy side pool there. So that for me would be a momentum, like would bring momentum in, just as it broke 55.
Yeah, and now we are at the level 1650. That's usually kind of psychological level where sometimes it bounces because it's just $0.50 kind of psychology. So I'm gonna kind of take half off, just kind of the partial out, so just to be sure, because we are kind of seeing some rejection from it. Okay, let's see how it goes.
I'll just try to short an IBO, by the way. Don't let me
right.
interrupt you, Rocco.
No, you want to share your screen?
No. You go and just see how we manage this out. It's interesting to see the tape.
So let's see if it takes up the high and holds above the high of the previous candle. I'm gonna be fully out because this was a pretty strong rejection from 1650. And then you can see even before that was a very significant level, right?
Mm-hmm.
You see how this one picked up, buyers picked up at 1650. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times before, 8, 9. So it's very significant level. So that means if it breaks, we are in the driving seat. If it rejects, we get out. Simple as that.
Yeah, gotcha.
So
what's just answer Tiny T's question there. What is that? Is that where are you getting that level 2 from? I think Tiny's saying it's obviously not.
Oh, that's from a That's Trader Pro, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So they have really good depth, right? So now I'm basically watching the bid, right? That's red print, what's happening. It's holding. You see this 1655, 55. Look at this. This is called maybe held bid, but now they're kind of a little bit released to 54. And if it is bearish, it will go down to 53, 52, 51. If it's not bearish, it will go different directions. So it kind of, you see the battle 55, 54, 55, 54, 16, 55. You see now also the white prints. So that's algorithms or institutions, and basically the spread is between 1652, 1653. I'm seeing more of these white prints closer to the ask, which is not a good sign for me, but now they dropped. You see this 51, come on, lose 50. You see how it's rejecting from 50?
Yeah.
Come on, break it. Okay. Keep it now. Now stay below. Would be good if it stays below. And good. I think, and there is another, you see this offer coming in 45, pulling the price down. All right, good. Look at that. Okay, so now we have this another congestion area. You see here around 1643 from before, 1, 2, 3, 4 rejections. Let's go to the low of the day. You see,
let's break the low of the day. Let's break the low of the day.
Yes. Yeah, we need Scott support. Come on, Scott.
I'll sell a truckload of 42 for you.
Okay, I see these big orders now stacking 295 to 74 at bid.
Yeah.
And where are they printing? Let's see, they're printing, yes. Okay, so it's gonna go a little bit more down in my opinion. All right. You just sit tight on your hands in this moment, right?
So those white prints that you're seeing are not actually on level 2 then?
Sorry?
Those white prints that you're seeing go through on the time and sales are not actually passive orders on the
yeah, you don't see them on level 2. Yeah, the times and sales actually the truth of the market, right? What is actually happening.
Covered IBOS.
Yeah. So, but let's see. So 40 seems to be holding. You see they're stacking. Some bidders are kind of holding the price. Okay, so now we're gonna see if it goes up. Let's go down. Draw. All right, almost to the low of the day. Okay, so we are gonna. So the low of the day was like a pullback, maybe 1630, and now we're gonna see some bidders probably starting to step up, trying to get in. Another stacking down. Okay, good. All right. I mean, I have to say, when this works out, it's such a great feeling.
Oh, I agree with you there.
I have to say that. So, you see, and I have basically, I'm going to do now trailing stop. All right. So basically, so I don't, so to speak, mess up the trade, right? So I'm just going to let it run out, and the trailing stop will be 2 times the 6 ATR, which is now at 7 cents. So 14 cents I'm willing to lose, to get out, to test how far it will go. But it seems to be turning at this moment. We'll see. Yep. Maybe I'll actually do it manual, trailing stop. I'll take it out on my own, but we'll see. So, because we are seeing some pressure from the sellers still, but they're kind of letting it lift. So we have another battle here around 1640, but it's good that it's keeping below the 1640. That was the previous place where it strongly rejected. So okay,
come on,
very good. Come on, we want the low of the day.
You want a free? You can break 1624. I'm thinking 1560 on this.
Because
yeah,
you're watching.
You might not get there in one hit, but yeah, that's where I would. If it's done, yeah, I'm not going to say anything. Let's just see how this plays out.
Okay, are you in any trade? Are you trading something?
No, I was in. I taking my eye off the ball there. I'm looking what looking at what you're doing, but I was in IBIO, and because I was looking at what you're doing, let me just. I'll take
I just got
on that one. Yeah,
I just got out. This was a little bit too strong of a move for me because it took
nice try. Round of applause for Rocco.
Thank you. Because it took high of the 3 previous candles. See, 1, 2, 3, and this candle was like a wow. Look at this now. Good exit.
Yeah. Good out.
All right. All right. So your turn.
Yeah. So IBIO. Then let's have a quick look at what I've got. Switch stage there.
Yeah, I'm gonna set up now the scanner for the new strategy that I'm trying, and then I'll be back in a second with my. Sure.
No worries. So my IBIO, I shorted off of a double top into the benchmark, and this is consistent with what I've been seeing in these shorts at benchmarks in. Kind of the strong stock of the day, where Michael would normally say to me, so when you're seeing this type of price action, why are you not long in it? Which is fair to say, and we might do something next week where I do switch from the short side to the long side and see how that goes, given how the market's playing out at the moment. But yeah, the benchmark 2 clearly being acknowledged, as was the previous one in pre-market. But now, as I'm out of the benchmark scenario, without going back and looking up to whether it's got 5, 6, 7, if it's a supernova, essentially, if we can break that, the same formula for me applies, meaning it can do the whole lot again. So if that's my benchmark 2 from these lows, I would basically stack the whole lot and say that program is going for another run. Same formula applied, and that now we could finish up there at kind of around about just under $5. So again, all off the same formulas, off of the first volatility out of the lows. So in any case, this is kind of what's been happening, is we push that benchmark and then we come into lunch and we push it again. But when you look back at it and you look at it on a 30-minute chart, it all looks good. But trying to short it at this time of day is becoming the wrong thing to do. So you should be listening to the market and saying, right, I'm only going to short either in the earliest pre-market with something like pays, when you see that sort of action. So even pays has done it there today. The nice short off of pays there, either at kind of 520, another one there at 744, all the way down. And then again, Pays has given it to you on the lower volume stock, still only trading on the 1 minute 60 kind of on average, about 70,000 a minute on PAYS. So we are fighting the trade where the money is today, which is IBOS, which doesn't yet want to go down. So we'll stop shorting that. I won't get in this again until after lunch. Hopefully we'll see another push higher and a really hard rejection to get into after lunch. But at this time, if you track what's been happening on these last swings, is it's either coming to or not requiring, it has come to that. So it comes to that buy side. And that is a real nice play. Like I said, it comes in. You have the VWAP. You've got the moving averages here, these red ones, and you've got a red to green candle formation that's going to take you into a long. Now, it's just because my bias knows I'm at a benchmark that I'm not taking that, and that's generally my answer to why I don't trade the long side, is because I'm looking straight at a benchmark which I expect to hold the market until it doesn't, and we can see it's having trouble with it. It's just now it could go supernova for me, and then I might be more interested in a buy after that. So we'll see what comes up on Rocco's scanner. So I've got a very, I don't know what his criteria is, but obviously I've got those stocks that just pump up as the money flow comes in. I hear them audibly into my headset. So we'll see what comes up for me, what comes up for him, and we'll see how we can play those moving average crossovers to the VWAP. And I might try and play these pullbacks to buy side liquidity pools. Tiny, what have you got there? He does read it well. He does read that tape well. Yeah, it's working out those, and that's why I was asked him there about the white orders that come through on the time and sales, because they're the orders that I do not see that. So I class them as hidden orders, right? Even if you're looking at something like Bookmap or anything like that, you don't see those white orders, and those are the orders that reside in my liquidity pools here, right? So you don't see a huge order necessarily on the tape here on IBIO sitting at 255, but the flurry of orders that come in, those white orders coming in between, which means they're not disclosing whether they're a buy or a sell, they're not on the bid or the ask. You get a flurry of them come in, and that's what I hear on the tape. So it's looking at the time and sales and the speed of those orders being executed, that as it comes out of that zone, that's where you expect a momentum push. And that's where you know you're on the wrong side if I'm short, which I just was. So I was short there at kind of 280s. And then as soon as we hit this level, I heard it coming up on the tape. Oh, yeah, here we go. It's going to push the highs again. But I had my stop up at this 296 area, so I didn't get caught in if this rushed. So yeah, that's just a little bit of insight into those white orders that appear on the tape. Rocco, you back? Scanner set up?
Scanner set up. I'm back. Let's see what's gonna hit it. What time is it? 10:22. So it should be happening at least within the next 10 minutes. Hopefully something. So
what is it you're looking for? Just a bit of speed. What is it that you're looking for on that?
The settings for the stocks. So I'm looking for the stocks that are kind of up from the open at least 2%. Okay. That their volume today that was traded is above 1 million. Okay, by 10 a.m. And then after 1 p.m. more than 3 million. So and then what I'm looking is that they have the ATR above 1, and that relative volume is also above 1.2. So basically the stocks that are in play, so that they have heavy interest from buyers and sellers today. Okay, and then I have the crossing of 8 SMA with VWAP in Trades Idea, and now I'm waiting one to pop up. So that's kind of a new strategy that I'm trying, right?
Yeah.
So the standard strategy that I usually use, I have the same kind of, let's say, features of the stocks, but I'm waiting for them to consolidate for at least 15-20 minutes and then break out, and then kind of to trade them. So
what's appearing on there at the moment? I've still got mine shouting out IBIO at me at the moment, so I'm assuming that's breaking. Actually, I've got it here. What am I talking about? So IBIO being shouted out at the moment.
Yeah.
What have you got on there?
Yeah, I would not enter here. I would enter the break of the high of the day on the higher volume that it holds. So this is a 1 minute. Yeah. So this is a consolidation of maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there has to be some volume supporting that kind of move at this point.
So I just continue to draw these in. Take the screen at any time you want. I'm just looking with if this is going to go more supernova today. So if we break this benchmark, so we just kind of, we need to break and hold above for me to consider, yes, this could be an all day kind of long at the moment. But at the minute, what I see come in is, when you're looking at your level 2 and you've got that big kind of that big number on the ask, it's sitting there, and then all of a sudden it's filled, and you get the flush on the time and sales, and then price runs through it. That's what I expect to see at the last level of each one of these. So at the minute, I'd see that at 301. I'd see the most recent micro buy level at 286 to 276 if it needed it. But again, because this is at a benchmark, this is normally a good short. But there's so much money coming into this stock today that when we've seen volume like this, it appears to be a better buy than it does to be a sell. But let's see if I hear this coming on the tape now. So actually, if I keep an eye on that, why don't you switch to what you've got on your whatever you're looking at? You can pick a stock that you think's coming up. If it is IBIO, we can just look at the tape. I think people are interested in your tape, what you're going on tape reading there.
Okay, let me share the screen.
They see my levels every day.
Huh? Okay. The screen. Okay. Hopefully it works. Okay, it says you're sharing the screen. Did it come up?
Yeah, there you go. I'll put you.
All right. Okay. So tell me again. The stock is IB.
So IBIO.
IBIO. Okay. The level 2 is pretty balanced. So kind of, both. Okay, look, here is a big one. 1699, 127,700 shares. However, it is pretty far from the current price, right? What is the ATR? Do you know what is the daily ATR?
These go from nothing, Rocco, to something.
Okay.
It'll go through the roof on something like today.
So then it's possible, right? So this is where the kind of sellers, the patient sellers, are waiting, right? They are sure that the price will come to them, right? That they are going to fill this 127,700 shares, and you see how some others are maybe so to speak piggybacking, right? 31 shares around here, 124, kind of expecting that this will be attracted to it. So that means there's a big seller who is so sure that this price will go at least 50 cents up to them, and they're not in a rush to sell. So that's like kind of a passive seller, right?
Yeah,
it's just waiting patiently that the price comes to them. So it has a potential to go up. And what was this high here? Oh, sorry, I think this didn't change. Sorry. Okay, sorry, I was looking at the wrong. I'm not connected the two. So okay, so IBIO, basically it is still kind of biased towards a little bit towards the upside, even though it's balanced. I don't know. You see how both sides have big orders in this case?
Yeah, so that would make sense to me, because at the minute I'm trapped in between sell side pull. Yeah, so I'm below 311 and above kind of 85 to 80. I expect that balancing to occur. So what would be interesting is if we come down to 280, do you see that run on the tape of buyers? But it will be white orders. My expectation is that when it gets down, there'll be white orders that come through. So it'll be the speed of them and the fact that the price pushes up.
So you see, at 280, exactly where you said, you have a big order, 212, and that is basically bigger than there's one 214 here, but then it is also on the other side, 210. So it's pretty balanced. It's pretty balanced. I would not bet on any side at this moment. So I would just wait that it resolves. Yeah.
Okay, so here it comes down into the pool now. So I'm just going to kind of balance what gets shouted into my ear with what you see on the tape on this, if it does it. So 288.
280 has this 218, 102. Yeah, see how it's pretty balanced there. Both sides have bigger orders. The pink color is labeling orders that are higher than like 50, higher than 5,000 shares.
Tiny, what you're saying, that CCL or not? I think it is IBIO. What
Sorry?
was it? I just say Tiny. I just noticed you said a couple of minutes back. I think it's CCL, not IBIO, but I think it is IBIO. Looking at the price.
One that had big order. Or so Merck sold off. What was the low of the day?
Yes, almost the same as Tiny. I've just been looking at Rocco's tape reading here, so I've pretty much, apart from that IBIO trade, I'm toying with going long right here. So with that buy side holding, I'm just trying to see if we get any confirmation of that. Obviously, totally against what I'd normally do, being at a benchmark, obviously.
So at this moment, you're neither short or long biased, or you're biased to one side?
I'm also where my level is here. Anything below 3, it's like 290 is my benchmark. So anything, 3 and 290 below, I would think we're toying with high of day. But what's been happening is every buy side has held so far, and every sell side has failed. And right now we're at that point where the sell side is holding, the buy side is holding. So that's why you're seeing the balance. Which agrees on the tape that you're seeing. So now I'm just waiting to see if IBO cracks to the upside. And it's at that buy pool now. It's just 285. The lowest level I've got is 278. But I'm not seeing the speed come out of that area at the moment to the upside that we have been for each touch previous.
Yeah, I don't trade stocks that are below like $15 or $20. I kind of never stepped into it. I'm not saying that's wrong or right. It's just kind of out of my comfort zone. I know they move so fast, as you said. They can go like 300%.
I was looking back at my data on stream actually, and even though like Mike was the one that trades the large caps and I'm the one that trades the small caps, like I said, execution wise on small caps there's no longevity to what I've been doing outside of the bank. We've never, when you work for a bank, you're not allowed to execute retail at all. But yeah, my stream big caps are better than my stream small caps at the moment. But yeah, I normally limit that to kind of Tesla or Nvidia or something like that. But we'll see. IBIO does seem to be drying up a little bit as we speak. So I'm just to 1020, 1030. Let's see if we get something in 5 minutes. These small caps normally pause for 15 minutes to sideways or pull back, and then they go again. Right, so it's 280 now.
But the speed on the tape increased, so that's kind of
right.
good.
So now that's when I'd expect speed now.
Yeah.
Right now.
No, it's not. Oh yes, look at that.
Right, and look at the white orders coming through. So they're not on the tape, right? They're not on level 2, and that's why I called it a hidden liquidity pool, right? Because they're not there. Now let's see if it pushes straight back up to, if it can go and bust 312. Then that for me will be a long momentum.
It seems it's now it is biased towards the upside. You see how many big orders you have here, and they're close to the price. Okay, let's go. It's gonna break it. Yeah, you see. All right.
Rocco, everyone wants to know where'd you get your tape reading lessons from? Self-taught, or you've taken a course or something?
So basically, there's from different sources, right? You pick up left and right, and there are a number of good kind of groups out there that are, focused on these tape reading skills. So
go on, drop their names. Drop their names. Come on, who are they?
Best.
You got like Cova Trading, Alex Timiza, like all brilliant at what they do. Okay, so we just tapped into the sell side liquidity there. So that's the top side. So I just flick to what I'm seeing, and then I'll flick back to you, Rocco. Right, so that's what I'm seeing there. So that push into that very lowest 278 was where we saw that speed come out on the tape.
Yeah.
Now we've just tapped into that 304 again. So now, all the while we get locked between, I'd expect the balance to occur and the tape to slow up. Until now, we either push down into it again and we see the volume come out again, or we break 311, and that's when I expect the next pop, which would pretty much be kind of the same size. I'd almost expect it to be a similar size to what we are coming out of at the moment. So somewhere around there, if we're going to pop again, I'd expect that to happen and get to maybe gets to 330, 335 if we can break that 310. Anything else other than IBO that's coming up in your scanners for this little test of the...
Maybe this will be interesting for you. Stock, S-T-O-K.
Yeah, got it on my watch.
Stock called stock.
Yeah, that's it. I keep writing in S-T-O-C-K and nothing. Well, something else comes up, but it's not S-T-O-K.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, tell me. What you got? So this is on your scanner right now, is it?
It just came up, yeah. You see how it crossed the SMA crossed the VWAP, but it was earlier than I started my scanner. So this would be the play, right? That I'm talking, that I'm testing the new strategy. So when this orange line that is representing 8 simple moving average, right, crosses the VWAP and the price is close enough, right? So that's the new strategy that I'm trying, and it would have worked out a little bit at least in this one.
Yeah, certainly would. So stock is stock was in play yesterday. Stock was in play yesterday. No, actually Monday. Stock was in play Monday after hours. Then it pulled back yesterday, and then now it's gone to a new high today. There is some resistance up here around the 1380s to 14 level. And yeah, so we've seen that pullback. And now, that did confirm about 10, just for 10:15. Right, I've got that IBIO on the tape again. That's shouting in my ear right now. IBIO. Okay. Let's jump back to that.
Yeah, you can switch to your...
Okay, so that was another touch now of the first level.
This is IBIO.
Yep. And we push out again. So this buy side liquidity, and there's 3 levels to this. 1, 2, in just lower than the middle. This is trading views, but it's literally a couple of cents off on these small caps. So there's 3 levels of liquidity, and I kind of reference that as the 3 different liquidity providers, right? If you're going into if you need to be listed, the minimum requirement is to have 3 liquidity providers or market makers for your stock. And they kind of fight each other for the best price anyway. You know, everyone's in the game here, so it's whether or not they come back for the first level, which they do in the first instance, then the second, and then the third, and now they're just pulling back to the first one again. But every time they're holding this buy side, and now 3 times we've held the sell side, but we've never come up to 311 yet. So let's have a look there. So yeah, each time 1, 2, 3 is the deepest we've taken out that. Now I would say that's it for this, right? I'd say that liquidity is gone because we took out all 3 levels. Doesn't have to pass through it, but there would be a new one coming from the low to the high that just formed, right? And we've just touched into that. So that's what I heard on the tape when I just said to Rocco, can we flip back to IBIO?
And look how they're stacking at 3-0.
Yep.
And decreasing, so it's going to break slowly, maybe. I don't know. So
that's it. Each of these will have its own little swing, and each of these will have a level. So now we need 301 to break to have a chance of breaking 311. That's it.
Yeah.
So if we hear 3, here we go.
Okay.
That's on the tape.
There we go.
Let's flip back to you. Flip back to you because that's being shouted in my ear. Back to Rocco's tape. So there's the flush. Now, if we can get up in this push to 311, if that breaks, then I think we've got the new high coming in.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Good.
There. So this is, well, we've got a double top on our hands at 320 if that's the case, or we could push to that.
Look at the speed. Look at the speed.
There we go. 330s, right? So
look at the speed of the tape. Look at the speed of the tape. It's like woo.
So that's it. That's all literally to do with them orders. It's a similar thing to when you see the level 2, 3K sitting there and it disappears. But these are like literally, look at it go.
Yeah. So you mentioned the market makers, right? So
Oh, flush. Oh, there we go. See, it did like that 330 level straight off.
Wow, that's why I don't trade these.
Straight back down to the 280, right? Straight.
I think my heart would give up. Like,
oh dear.
Yep. So you mentioned market makers, right?
Yes.
They are kind of very interesting entities. They don't have opinion on the price. They just move the price, right?
Yeah, they're there to stabilize market price when it's required, aren't they?
Yeah, because I don't know. You tell me, maybe I'm understanding it wrong. In the past, let's say, I don't know, in 1900s, right, or and so on. If you kind of put an offer in that you want to buy something, you had to give it to a person, and that person would go around and try to find your price that you are willing to pay for that commodity or whatever you're looking for, and then come back, and that would take like 5 days, 7 days to realize if your offer was fulfilled. Today, these market makers, they provide liquidity, kind of that you can actually sell and buy within a second, because somebody has to sell you or somebody has to kind of buy from you what you are willing to buy or sell for. Am I right, or I'm kind of having a wrong understanding? I don't know.
Yeah, it's what time we got? Okay, yeah. So the market makers are there to, like I said, you have to, if you've got someone that wants to sell and there is no buyer, obviously on an auction basis it will move down to the next price. But there are situations where the liquidity provider would have to get involved if there literally was no price. If the market's crashing, the market maker would buy into that crash regardless. And the white orders, they can match the buy and sell on the same side. So it's not strictly true that every buyer needs a seller, and you can probably tell that if you are tape reading. But obviously, when the tape reading is real, the level 2 is not always real because of the spoofing. But
right,
an efficient market essentially means that all orders will get filled. So if you are sitting there with a huge order on the level 2, that will act as a magnet, because ultimately it should get filled. So the fact it might be a spoof is neither here nor there for the market maker or for us. There's nothing we can do about it. We can throw spoofs in as well. It's not just the institutions that do it. But yeah, ultimately, when the market maker does step in at the point they don't need to, that does cause an imbalance on their book. And that is why if they've had to take both sides of the trade, at some point they will come back to that price point and come get that back. Unless they've worked into their book previously, the P&L that they don't need to, and they can allow it on there, and it will stay on the book for a while. But generally, that's you can't really. I know market makers get a bad rep, but you can't list a stock without a market maker, without 3 of them, because if there's no one to give liquidity, that's their job, is to provide liquidity on your stock, right? End of. So it's the good and the bad.
Yeah. And there's kind of many of them, right? They're also competing against each other. It's not like it's a one central market maker, right?
Correct. Yeah, that's why you can choose your market maker. There's plenty of them. There's some of the big names and some smaller names that you might not have heard of, but
Yeah, I think these are the names, right, of these market makers here. They can see on level 2, EDGX, MEMX, NIZE.
yeah,
right?
they're sort of the vehicles. They're like the vehicle that the market maker would get in the car. Do you get me? It's like that's the vehicle, whereas the market maker would get in the car and drive that vehicle essentially with the bids and offers that goes in and the executions within ACB Edge. So that's how that kind of works. But yeah, I think they do get a bad rep. Not necessarily so. It is just, and again, I don't stop runs. I don't see as a market maker thing or anything. I just see a stop run as there's a lower liquidity pool. That's it. There was a lower liquidity pool from where you got in your buy trade, and it just went to pick it out. So, for instance, now on IBIO, let's have a quick look.
Wow, look at this. Stock was the one. You see, remember how it crossed this 8 SMA, crossed the VWAP? Look at it now.
I keep typing in K again. Yeah, so that was literally the 10-15.
Look at this. 15? Yeah, 10, 14, 15. Yeah, now it's kind of breaking the high of the day. So, see. This is the one that I will go back, let's say, and replay and study, right? Because it really followed through.
So it'd be interesting to see what that does if it can get up to 15 and a half.
So this is the stock, this is GME, right? It's on the other end, but I was too late. So the price was already too far to enter. So when this 8 SMA crossed the VWAP, and now it's kind of being consolidated at this range or consolidation, 1305 and 1310.
So that's so to the downside on GME. That's a confirmation there, just a few minutes ago, right?
Yeah, but I was too late.
See, there you go.
There we go. I didn't enter it, but it kind of has a follow through. It was the same thing. See, my new strategy that I'm trying to get as close as I can to this cross with the price of 8 SMA with VWAP. At least worked at 2 cases today, stock and GME, even though I didn't trade it, but anything on your scanner coming up?
No, stock's in my ear at the moment, so I'm guessing that is heading towards its 15.50. Yeah. So if I just quick look over at stock then. So stock's similar to what I was looking at on what was it? What was I looking at earlier?
Yeah, look at that.
AMD was
nice takeoff.
AMD, yes. Yeah, sorry, right.
I love how it was confirmed. Look at this big volume, right? See this volume bar here? Kind of confirmation of the breakout. So it's very nice play. It's a little bit below my price range, but still it's nice move.
So that would have been the same kind of setup. Just let's show you what I'm drawing here. So from that high that you've just mentioned, previous high day there, if I can grab this template off, that would have its sell side, and each of these like literally they're micro, but each of them you can see are coming back to their buy side pull and holding. So like if I just quickly, oh wow, too much red. So you see each of these are holding, just bring it into where the buy side was before, take it to the new high, another one works. So the buy side's still holding on stock. So then the question is, right, well, okay, what anticipate when that level? So similar to IBIO is now 1404 becomes my level. So we tap into it and we don't get back out of it. So at the break of 14, that's when you get that flush that you saw to the upside that you saw on IBOS. And that's all I'm talking about is when I'm saying, well, how far do I think I can get on the range? Was it Martin B just commented on it about the market, about the 3 market makers, one for each session, not necessarily one for each session, because they're all fighting the same levels that we're seeing mid-session, but it's this pre. In FX, you know, this would be your Asia session or your London session setting up New York. But that's the data that is key right there to where this could end. So at the moment, 1614, that's where it could end, or at least acknowledge to come and pick up some more liquidity to the downside. And that's just formalized on every book, is to say, right, well, if we're taking that spread wherever you pull it from, pre-market or the first swing in market, is that's where it is. We've got another one up here off the chart that's going to be sitting up at like 18. And if this is going to supernova, then obviously we can go up there. But you can sometimes crash through these. Let's see where that level is. So again, it doesn't matter whether you use the kind of pre-market, post-market, they all come into roughly the same area. So it's a little bit higher on the pre-market than it is on the first swing of the session. So I always go with the lower one because I can always know that it's there, but if I'm taking money off the table, that's where it is. So pretty much we've acknowledged that first one. There's a gap between 16 and 20 now that would be huge, and I would class that STOK as a supernova coming from where did it come from? 4s, 5s. So coming from 5.5, if we made it up to 20, I would class that as a supernova, multi-day supernova. But you can see we've just acknowledged the top of that there, and I'm not saying it's the high of day, but we would just look to see. IBIO is being called out on the tape again as I'm doing this. Time has flown again, Rocco. We've only got like kind of 5 minutes to summarize. My summarize is going to be short and sweet as 2 on IBIO.
Very good. It was fun as always.
Let's have a look at IBIO. Anything on your scanner that is showing at the moment?
Not really. DKNG popped up, but it's kind of falling apart. So, nothing much.
So that IBO that I could hear on the tape there then is obviously this effectively, if you look at it, it just looks a spike above, right? That liquidity pool now looks like it just held, even though we talked you through it, what was happening there. Then come back and then smash this buy side pull to the downside to this target. So this was essentially the target. If you could short at 3, that would have been my target at 255, the first line. And as we tapped into that, that's why I heard it on the tape again. So now it's just like, well, what takes control now? We've got a big buy level. We've been in before. We've held it twice. Is IBIO going to keep working its way up, or at least keep accumulating up at these highs around 3 for the day? But each one of these now, do these get forgotten? They're not there again. And then you just say, right, where are we coming into now? And that's the first side, right? So to get any higher, we have to break 281 and close, see if we get that pop through. But we've also got the macro version of that, which is sitting up there now. This has been negated, and I'd be looking for somewhere up there. So for new highs on the day, this sell side has to break in order to even have a chance of getting there. 281 has to break. My bad. This is that's right. This is sell side. So yeah, that's how it plays out. And this is textbook of what's been happening over the recent weeks with these high volume small caps that we're looking to short. Is the area is not necessarily wrong. It's just a tough short to play. It was that you'd have had to been quick to get that pop. As soon as we saw the pop, it was flushed down to 286, and then now you've only got 257 as a target. But anyway, that's the way we play them. My recap is going to be coming shortly. Rocco, yours more profitable with mine on your CLL. Let's have a quick look at CLL and see how that plays. CCL. Sorry,
yeah, that's great.
So CCL. Yeah, so there's the pool that broke, and this is the pool that we drew in that's holding that down the bottom, which is basically off that first swing, low to high. And we've tapped into that twice, worked out. So this is gone. And now you have a brand new one on CCL that's sitting just up here.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'd be looking for on CLL. What put that on your watch today?
Earnings. They had earnings.
Earnings.
Yeah, and they're one of these unusual ones that have earnings at 9:15. Usually, all earnings are much earlier, so you had to wait, right?
Exactly.
For the earnings to come out and see the direction or kind of bias at least. But the most important thing is to be flexible, right? You saw how it was so long and then short. You cannot kind of be stuck in one frame.
Yeah, exactly. Right, let's have a look at what we've got going on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I realized that I can see comments. I didn't see them before, so I'm going to try to respond to Tiny, what Tiny asked, and I think Martin asked about risk management. So, Martin, I'm using the 6 ATR number and multiplied by 2, so it's basically 12 ATR as my trailing stop. Okay, so that's my technical level where I get kicked out if I let the trade kind of slip away from my management, right? Here I exited when the low of the previous candle was taken out, right? That's the first one, right? And the second one was again here when the high of these 3 candles was taken out by this strong buy coming in. So basically I exited on the high here when this high was taken, and on this one the low of the previous candle was taken. So but I have again this trailing stop in place in case I kind of I wander away with my thoughts or something distracts me, so kind of I have that safety kind of trigger, safety net in it. So
all right, cool. Right, we're just going to have a little recap, I think, Rocco, so let's do that now. Okay, so not too much on mine. I was IBIO, and I could kind of answer the risk question as well. So I only risk, obviously, the size is always going down to if I was trading stock, for example. Oh no, let's do IBIO because that's what I was trading. So if I'm selling a benchmark like here and I come into my target is always going to be initially the 248. I can trail afterwards if I want to, but it's initially going to be that. My risk, if I can get in just off of these rejections here, would normally be at about 275, so I could get in and take that and cover it at 250 for 25 cents initially. And the reason I put it above there, which is then you can see in here, so you can see I've had an attempt earlier in pre-market at IBIO, so a little bit late covering there, but should have been at the sell side liquidity pool, just got out a bit after it. And then again here, 2 attempts. One, I thought I'd go for the buy side, was just a little test, but this was the short. And again, as soon as it comes up above that liquidity pool, I'm out of that trade. I don't mess about. It's just that tight. The width, if you look at each of these, 304 being, or 301 being the entry, and then 312 is my risk, because I'm aware that these can go to 330, 360, 370 when they break out of these sell side pools. It's not been too bad this morning. They have just been spikes above each, but nevertheless, it looks like it's been grinding up around that area all day for me. So not a profitable session on IBO, but just not a lot lost either, so not too bad. And Rocco, I think CCL was your would be your summary today. Have you done anything else there on the side?
No, just kind of those 2, IBIO and stock, that kind of follow through the new strategy that I'm developing. So we'll see next time around when I'm
we'll see. Fully refined.
It's working or not.
We'll have everybody on that. We'll get everybody on that one. All getting in at the same time. It's the same time they cross over. That'd be great. All right, guys. We have to wrap up. It's a Wednesday, so don't forget Fridays, no trade day. You can head on over to the Discord. Tim will keep you entertained over there. But from Rocco, thanks, Rocco. Been great to have you on as a guest again. Always welcome to have you on.
Thank you, Scott. Yeah, thank you, Scott. And I'm looking forward to other 2 videos about your 10 tips on the stock trading. I love the first one. I love the first one. Yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, the other 2 will be following shortly. But for everyone else, we'll see you same time, same place on Monday.